am going to tell you about why I am such a fan of yoga and myofascial release. Myofascial release in itself is so easy to do, and we're doing it all the time without realizing it. In a way, most yoga practice is releasing the fascia, and what the fascia is, without boring you too much, but it's kind of like the wrapping around the whole body. It's like a whole bodysuit under the skin. Also, it wraps around each of the what we would call individual muscles, but we know that there's no one thing. It's all a continuous network. And also like around your organs. So it's kind of this wrapping that holds everything together in your body. When you practice yoga, the idea why most of us practice yoga is to improve the mobility of the body, the glide of the muscles, to stretch out tight muscles, and it leaves us with this feeling when we add the breath to that, and it's kind of like 3D matrix movement, it leaves us feeling the sense of peace and well-being. And yoga is a form of myofascial release. Myofascial release is getting the muscles to kind of slide and glide over each other so they don't get velcroed together. And what it does is creates this continuous communication system. So your fascia communicates 6 times more than your nervous system. So it can tell us about pain, it can tell us about things going on inside our body, what we need to self-regulate, and also tells us things about the outside world as well. So self-regulation leading us to that feeling of deep peace, well-being, knowing what we need in order to live a balanced and healthy life. Now, massage also does this too. We are doing myofascial release. I am a massage therapist, massage trainer, and I specialize in deep tissue massage and myofascial release. And also what I do is dry needling, where I find trigger points, which are like little knots. We all know about knots. If you put your hand on your shoulder, you will feel tight bands of muscle. This is where everything's become very tight. It's become pulled, and it forms these trigger points, or knots or adhesions in the muscles. So what we do as massage therapists is we try to release them, and in dry needling, which is kind of like a Western acupuncture, we can even put acupuncture needles in those to kind of innovate, to kind of get the circulation going, so that we improve circulation, we improve mobility, and we get this slide and glide back. And I got into this myofascial release using tennis balls, myofascial release balls, yoga equipment in lockdown when I was no longer able to see my clients. But using stuff that they had already around their houses, tennis balls, yoga equipment, I was able to give them the same relaxation response that I would be able to give them in massage. This is a great technique to learn if you are a person with tension. You can roll yourself out, you can give yourself self-massage. If you're a yoga teacher, you can add it to your yoga practice, because what yoga will do is like stretch the muscles, strengthen the muscles. What myofascial release will do is kind of like loosen the fascia and create more glide so that it can work in harmony. And if you're a body worker doing massage, then it will help you have more understanding about what you're doing, and it will give you things that you can give to your clients to take away and do for themselves. So it's like my two worlds colliding, and it's the most exciting thing. So I'm running a 20-hour yoga and myofascial release course in 2 weeks' time. It's on a weekend, 25th and 26th of September. However, it's all online, so if you can't face coming on Zoom all weekend, or you've already got like really fun things to do out of the house, then you can sign up anyway, and you can do it at your leisure. We're going to do 4 bite-sized chunks, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, same on Sunday. And then I'm going to leave you with 5 yoga and myofascial release sessions that you can do at your leisure. Now, in those weekend chunks, I won't bombard you too much with the science, although it's really good to understand. But I want to give you practical tools. So what we'll do in those sessions is a little bit of information at the beginning of each session, and then mostly giving you techniques. And I'll take the body in chunks. We'll start on Saturday morning with the feet and the legs. Saturday afternoon we'll do the arms and the shoulders, and so on and so forth. And then I'll show you the anatomy involved and what we're doing, where the balls or the yoga blocks or the yoga mat or the foam roller is going, and what you're doing. And then the 5 yoga classes I'm going to leave you with are based on the 5 myofascial anatomy chains or anatomy trains. I learned all this stuff from Tiffany Cruikshank. I'm a yoga medicine teacher, and also Tom Myers. Tom Myers kind of created or discovered or kind of put together these chains, these lines of pull in the body. So you have the back line, which are kind of chains of muscles that all kind of pull you up in the world. And the back line normally is quite, as we're kind of either in trauma or working at our desks all the time, slouching, the back line is usually quite long, tight, but also very weak. And also back line kind of signifies that if you have a nice short back line, you're gonna kind of be ready to move into the world. So it kind of wakes you up and lets you go. So there's the back line, and then there's the front line, which is always our protective side. The lateral lines on the sides that kind of stabilize us. And then the spiral line that kind of spirals down the body in a crisscross all the way from top to toe, enabling us to kind of do movements. If you imagine like lines of pull, these are, if I have my jumper here and it gets tight here, then you see all of these little things that I've made are lines of pull, where if this is my body, the fascia is pulling. This could be trauma, it could be I've had some surgery, it could be a trigger point in my muscles, it could be anything, and it's kind of tightened up the fascia. And these are all lines of pull where everything has been affected. So I'm going to try and kind of iron out all the lines of pull and massage this area and just bring some innovation back. So we're going to do that, and I really think you should be there, because you could be as excited as I am. You can have these tools in your hands. The only thing we want as human beings, as people that love massage, as people that love yoga classes, is this sense of well-being, sense of self-regulation, sense of feeling alive and at peace, like being able to self-regulate. And what this work does is just give you more and more easy tools that you can incorporate into your life, incorporate into your classes, share around, to enable that to happen in a quite demanding, stressful world. We're going to need more and more tools to help us kind of listen in, feel into what we need. So I hope you can join me. As I said, it's all recorded, so if you don't want to do it all live, I do want some people there, because it's very hard just speaking to yourself all the time. But I've got the regular Shanti Centre following that will be there. But if you don't want to, you can dip in and out. You can do it at your leisure, and I really recommend it. So I will see you on the 25th, and thank you for listening. Lots of love.